know sometimes I'm drinking it with cloudless science sky.
How to make some Dutch oven pizza. I'm going to show you how to make my crust, homemade sauce, how I put it in the Dutch oven, and everything like that. So first thing we're going to do is I have 8 ounces of warm water in my bowl, and to that we're going to add 2 teaspoons of yeast, and to that we're going to add a teaspoon of sugar, and that will get the yeast working. And the other thing you can do sometimes too, if you want to give your pizza crust more flavor, you can add in a little bit of granulated garlic, or you can add in some grated cheese when you're starting to mix your flour and all that stuff in there, or just some fresh herbs. I'm just going to give that a quick mix with my trusty spoon and bowl. And let's see, and into that I'm going to add some salt, about a tablespoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm just going to give it a quick little mix to get all that stuff kind of combined and get the salt dissolving in there. And then I'm going to add about 3 cups of flour. Stir it up. Really easy recipe to make. Once I started learning how to make homemade pizza, we didn't buy pizza from any of the restaurants that often anymore, and especially with the homemade sauce. So much better than the canned or the pre-made stuff that you can buy at the store. I mean, to each their own. If you like the pre-made stuff at the store, then you know that's what you should get. But I like to make my own. And after I have all the dough where I want it, pizza dough, I like to take a little olive oil, put it there in the bottom like that. And I'll take just the dough and kind of use that to oil everything up. And then I'll just flip it over, pop the lid on it, and we're done. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I like to make my pizza sauce. I know there's all kinds of pre-made pizza sauce out there, different brands. But what I like to do, this is just the Walmart brand. You can use any brand you like. It's just a 14-ounce can of Italian-style diced tomatoes. It's already got the basil, garlic, and oregano in there. And I just dump the whole thing in. And I use a small can of tomato paste. Again, big spenders here, great value, Walmart brand. 6 ounces of tomato paste. And first mix that together pretty good. And then I like to make my tomato or my pizza sauce ahead of time. Give it a chance to get all the flavors kind of worked in together before they go in the pizza. So got some heat going there. And I like to put in a couple tablespoons of sugar. Kind of cuts the acidity with the tomatoes and all that and makes it a little bit sweeter. And I put in, even though it already has the seasonings in there, I always add a little bit more. You put as much as you like in there. I always taste it. If you don't want to use your friends or family's guinea pigs, as Emerald would say. And then I use some house seasoning, which is Miss Paula Dean is where I get this recipe from. So I made this so many times I can just kind of eyeball it now. But I give it a little while to cook, and then, you know, stir it and taste it, and then if it needs any more, then you can add, you know, more, whatever you like. And then there's usually enough in here to make, well, my Dutch oven, it's a 14-inch Dutch oven, so it would be enough sauce to make two 14-inch pizzas as far as the sauce goes. And then, if you want to kick it up a notch, another Emerald thing, you can add some crushed red pepper just to give a little bit of heat. I don't like to put in a lot, but just a couple shakes work. And we'll let that cook for a bit. Let all that sugar and spices and all that stuff gives a chance to kind of work its way through there, and then we'll give it a taste and see where we need to go from there. My pizza sauce has been cooking now for a couple minutes. I tasted it. It tastes really great. And the other thing that I forgot to mention is the reason I make my own pizza sauce is it's cheaper. I know some of the brands can be $3 or more just for a little tiny jar of pizza sauce. But when you find, you know, of course, like the Walmart brand of diced tomatoes, they're like around 47, 50 cents a can. And then the tomato paste, same brand, great value, you know, they're usually under 50 cents a can. So you can make your own pizza sauce that tastes, or at least I think it tastes better, for sometimes under $1. And then just use the seasonings that you have around the house to just kind of doctor it up as you like. But it looks good, and I'm just going to go ahead and shut it off and let it cool down, and then when our crust is ready, we'll put some of that on there, and I'll save the rest in a little container, and we can use that another day. Okay, so now I'm going to chop up the veggies that I'm going to put on the pizza. And this is my Pro chopper that I talked about in one of the other videos about one of the things I brought along. I had a food processor at home, but I can't bring that, but this works really good. I've got about half a green pepper and a half an onion in there. And I usually put my hand right here to kind of hold it. And it just takes a few cranks, and you've got, be careful you don't put too much, you'll just have a big pile of mush there. But it works really good. Sometimes in the morning you use this, just put in some potatoes, and see there, it's just all chopped up just right for pizza. And then the other thing that I like about this Pro chopper because it comes with all these other little attachments, is after you get it chopped up, it comes with this little lid, and you can just snap the lid on. Anyway, the lid will go on there, and then you can just put this in the fridge, and then when I'm ready to make the pizza, then I can just drag it out and get the toppings out of here and put them on the pizza. There we go. My pizza dough has been rising now for a couple hours, and I've put some parchment paper down here in my 14-inch Dutch oven. Put some cornmeal in there, just like you would if you were going to bake it in a regular oven. You know, you want to use cornmeal there too. So I'm going to take my pizza dough, and I'm just going to put it right down in there. And of course it's got the olive oil on there, so what I like to do is I just take a little bit of flour, because it makes it easier to, I just use my hand to kind of put it in place down here in the bottom of the pan. And it gets worked in too, so you don't have to worry about getting some flour where you don't really want it. And then I just try to work it up to the edge of the parchment paper all the way around. Kind of work from the center out. And it really doesn't take that long to work it out. Once you've done it a few times, it's fairly easy to get the hang of it. And the other thing I like to do is I just like to take a little bit of olive oil and drizzle it over the oil. And then I just take my hand and kind of rub it all around and get it all over the crust. I'm going to take this homemade pizza sauce that I made earlier, and had time to kind of sit and get all the flavors kind of mingled together there, and had time to cool down before you put it on your crust. You don't want to put warm sauce on there. So I'm going to take about half of that and put that on there, and then just take my spoon and spread it around. Make sure it's kind of evenly spread out. Milo's barking now. So that looks good, and then we'll have enough left over for another pizza, or who knows what else I might come up with to make. And then after that, of course, another Walmart product, just some regular mozzarella cheese. And use whatever kind of cheese you like. And I'm going to spread that on there. And spread it out down in there in your pan. And I'm going to be making a pepperoni, onion, green pepper, and pineapple pizza. It's really good. And since we've been traveling, of course, you're always trying to find ways to save money so you can keep doing what you like to do. We found these little Hormel pepperonis. Where we were from in Oregon, they had the dollar stores and all that kind of stuff. Down here, they have a lot of the Family Dollar, Dollar General, and oh gosh, there was one more. But these are anywhere from like $1 to $1.50 a pack. And there's two pouches in there, and each pouch has about 14 pepperonis, which means there's 28. So I'm going to use all 28 pepperonis, and I put them on a paper towel to get that extra, you know, because when they come out, they got all that pepperoni juice or whatever you want to call it on there. So I'm just going to try to evenly space these out in the pan. So I got my pepperonis on there, and then I had my onions and green peppers that I used chopped up in my Pro Chopper earlier. And I found that you don't really want to put a whole lot of this on there, because the onions and the peppers, as they cook, they do release some liquid as they're cooking. If you put too much on there, then your pizza gets kind of soggy, and that's not good. So usually what I'll do is I'll just use some of it, and then I'll save the rest for in the morning, like making an omelet or hash browns or something like that. So I've got that on there, and then I've got my pineapple. And the reason I buy these little containers like that is because when I buy pineapple or olives are actually cheaper. Just like pineapple, if you buy a bigger container, then you don't use all of it, and the other part that you want to save just goes in these little containers. You can use it for another day. So I'm just going to scatter a few of these pineapple around the top of the pizza. I think my nieces were the one that used to tell me that they loved pineapple on their pepperoni pizza, so we gave it a try one time, and they were right. It's good. So thank you, Zoe and Bree. Okay, so we got that. And then to top it all off, I'm going to add the rest of my mozzarella cheese. And I think Jay's got the croquettes about ready outside. So that looks good. You can add as much cheese as you like. I try to keep it just to one 8-ounce bag. There's 2 cups of cheese in there. These are about $2.47 at most of the Walmarts we found. So you can actually make a homemade pizza for fairly cheap, and especially if you make your own crust. You know, flour's cheap, the tomatoes and the paste are cheap. Can't go wrong. So anyway, it's all done, and I'm going to take it outside, and we'll put some briquettes on it, and we're going to have pizza not too long, and I'll show you the finished results. There's our pizza. We got about 12 briquettes on the bottom, and we're going to put the lid on the top of it, and then we're going to just add the rest of our briquettes to the top. See, they're all nice and red, and we're just going to space those out evenly. And just like with the turkey, you want to come out and give that a turn every once in a while, both the pot itself and the top of the lid, because if you don't, you're going to burn up your pizza. Okay, I think the pizza's done. Looks pretty good. I'm going to use my pizza pail to get this out of the Dutch oven. See, it just slides down in there, and out it comes.
In a minute, it's going to jump in my belly.
So there's a finished product. You can see that the crust is nice and brown, not overdone. And it probably was in the Dutch oven for, I'm guessing, maybe a half hour. But yeah, if you guys have a Dutch oven, you need to try this out.